Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am sorry that technical I couldn't get into the Zoom webinar. So once again, thanks for your patience. And this today I'm going to talk about something nobody talks about it, and you will see what's going to happen. When you come to anti-aging or aging, people have different philosophy concentrated on ingredients primarily, or the skincare company. I'm going to go through, but it's a long topic, but I'm trying to cut it into 6 parts, and extra information I am putting as an attachment, attachment. If anybody want to know about detail, I know there are high-med people, there are esthetician, who are medical or who are, really progressive and who know about it, the whole anti-aging. And the slide presentation, which you can use to your own presentation to your people, whatever you want to do it, or even post it to some of the facts on that. So let me, as most of you know, I work with Dr. Brian Jegasothy, famous, world-renowned dermatologist, over a decade. We myself, engineer, and with information about my background as a Ayurvedic is like an Indian medicine system. So this is and I have tested product, formulated product. So what I'm going to give you is more, it's not like that somebody go to the Google and become an expert, No. Or somebody doesn't even get it. This is like a full-time job. So what you are going to see is what doesn't work, what you see it. So it's all real, from real situations. So let me go to the first slide here. Okay, we are going to part 1. We are going to go to the inflammation, about aging. So let's move to the next slide. Okay. What you do, I started looking at it. There are 18 theories of and marketing of Hylunia. Sorry, not Hylunia, anti-aging product. Okay. So when we did this 18 theories and how people marketed the anti-aging, list anti-aging product and hormones, vitamins and antioxidant, herbs, diets, workout. Everybody have their own way of promoting their thing, and everybody call it anti-aging. So anti-aging doesn't mean anything, and nobody knows what it is. So all our research in anti-aging started in 1988. So let me go to tell you. Basically, when you look at anti-aging, you need all what you see here. Depending on the people, some people not, so it's all depending on, but everyone is missing the real reason for aging. And now, after so many years, doctors, scientists, everybody, okay, they believe that the inflammation, continuous inflammation creates, called free radical. I'll talk about and explain about it. I actually start the aging process. Let's go to the next slide now. Companies market their products as anti-aging. It's all based on vitamin C product. You see retinol product, Okay. You see sunscreen. They put sunscreen is anti-aging, Some put some fermented ingredient, like a porcelain or something like that, and then they call anti-aging. Then you have stem cells, plant, peptides, enzyme, and everybody call it anti-aging. So they had to promote one ingredient or one thing to market it. They cannot do different. That's the way each company make their marketing niche or the marketing strategy. They tell one ingredient, and that's the way they do it. But all the product is basically based on ingredient. Okay. Of course, the wellness people will say, okay, do the have supplements and it will take you anti-aging. So everybody have a different they promote it. That's what it is. So nobody really knows what anti-aging, So let me go to the next slide and show you. At the same time, the people, the people, how they perceive the anti-aging, and so they want, their desire to have those products. That's what drives the sales, So the next slide will tell you, show you that's what it is. Okay, everybody want to erase the wrinkles and fine line. That's what we found out. Most of the people take wrinkles and use the vitamin C product. Okay. Also, they want to minimize, once again, there are plant stem cells. Okay, there are peptides. They want to increase in thickness and everything of the skin. You want to reproduce and repair that collagens and damaged elastins. You call the retinol product. Okay, retinols. So then people want instant facelift. So you have product with the instant facelift. Then you have people antioxidant, and also sun. Okay. So all these people wanted to take care of everything. So it's hard to put all of them together. And basically, they are like an individual. That's the way we did that too. Finally, after 30 years, we actually got them together in one product. But once again, there are limitations to that. That's what we were able to do so many years of research to make into one product. But it's all. So what you see is about what causes the aging. Next slide will show you. So I don't know how many you know this drug called pentathenol. Pentathenol is you see the movies, the spy serum, called spy serum. They inject to the spy and they will come and tell everything. It stops all the inhibition, holding it, get the whole body, mind and everything to relax and say everything they want. And that's what the spy serum called pentathenol. Okay? Basically, to get actually the truth from all the companies and everybody have product, you had to put something like that, and that's what nobody is telling you. The reason is they had to sell a product, make money, so they cannot tell everything about it. So next one. So what is the answer? It's problem for all the aging. That's a big discovery we found in 1988. And Jegasothy discovered that, And before that, I will tell you the history, but right now, so the ingredients are only part of the truth, not everything. And nobody is telling, everybody is promoting skincare as anti-aging based on the ingredients and everything. The scientific reason for aging is conservation. Sun, if you expose to sun, you get the sun damage and you get faster. Then you have ingredient, but unfortunately, nobody tell you there are good, bad, and ugly ingredients. The ingredients are not everything same. Okay, so there are good one, bad one, and really bad ones are called ugly. And everybody understands skin aging by sun. Goes to sun and how you age, you will know how that's what the sun aging is. And that is the next slide, you'll see it. Basically, okay, that's what the aging. Now, this is something, when I became an esthetician, the first thing I did was, I found out there are so many misinformation, people are basically cheating by claiming certain things and everything. So I wrote an article on this, one of the aesthetic magazine, about do your business truthfully, be honest, tell the clients. Remember that aestheticians are professional. Your loyalty to your client, not to the companies, So you had to have the facts to tell your client truthfully, but none of the company don't tell you. And that's what I say, the truth, you had to find the truth. And the next slide will show you the sun. You see the sun, everybody knows sun. Okay, you have the UVA light, you have the UVB light, and when you are exposed to sun, you know how it, especially the people with the fair skin, you know how it ages faster. Okay, Also, nobody has any, Hylunia is the only one raising this, nobody is talking about the other one happening from the sun. It is called protons. Protons are create free radical. They are the heat waves and the infrared rays. They also come into you, okay? And they produce called protons, and they also create free radicals. Okay? This is something you wanted to know. This is something new. Others don't know it. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Now, you have seen this have done chemistry or somewhere, or there's a there's a sitcom, where there's some young guys, scientists, Sheldon, and I can't remember the name of the thing, probably you will know it. They show this spinning electrons, So each one has a nucleus, there are protons and electrons, and so usually these electrons are in pairs, okay? So when you take the one electron short, it will become a dangerous free radical. Okay, let me look at the next slide. It will explain more. So this free radical theory was established in 1957 by two Nebraska College of Medicine doctors. Okay, and they proposed this free radical theory, and now it's true. Free radical causes inflammation, and the continuous inflammation causes the DNA to change. Okay, and that's what even triggered to cancer. And from sun, people who have exposed to sun. And we followed the theory by these two doctors and continued the research. And since we were trying to develop a non-irritant product, we were just looking into all the product and see what can create free radical, what can create, when it's not pure or something, an irritant. And that's what we accidentally end up in finding out. There is, that you have free radical basically giving you irritation as well as aging, premature aging, and even trigger cancer cells. Go to the next slide. Next, we'll give you a little bit more. Okay, so when you say antioxidant, antioxygen, see that, become free radical when you lose one electron. Now you know that when you cut an apple, it actually become brown, isn't it? So that's called oxidation. Okay. Now that's what the things happen. Even with the free radical, they are one electron is short, and they need another electron to be stable. Think like this. You have to be a couple to be stable. I don't mean really. Okay, there are a lot of single people too, they are stable too, but if you take it, if you are a couple, you are stable. Couple, you have more freedom to do things and everything. So that's what's happening. So antioxidant give this electron to the free radical to neutralize it. Then they are good. They don't. So go to the next slide. Okay, here is a little bit more detail. Okay, I will explain, but I want you to read and follow through, and maybe, okay, I may do a different seminar, watch it again. Yes, the free radical created by sun, also they are created by ingredients. Okay, what you drink, okay, they all create a free radical. All create free radicals in your body. And the free radicals to create, they actually create inflammation. Remember that I told you they have found now inflammation is the key to aging and connected to cancers. So what they basically do is, just like the sun hit your skin, it actually creates inflammation. Okay? When you keep on burning at the same time, for example, for sun, you had to keep on doing it 7 times, the free radical become permanent. Attack all your good cells. Like, for example, collagens and elastin, the skin cells. And then they make that free radical, they make what is called, create a continuous inflammation. They actually change the DNA. When you change the DNA of the good living collagens and elastin, it's called mutation. Mutation means this comes different cell. It is going to produce different protein or different collagen and elastin, and that's what the tumor comes. Also, it accelerates the aging, it's called premature aging. So that's what the continuous inflammation do to you. Okay, it actually changes your DNA, and the DNA become a mutated, and it produces wrong type of cells, melanocytes. They do it, and then they become melanoma. You remember that age spots, and first start with age spots and everything, then become melanoma. So that's what this free radical do, which create inflammation. I hope everybody understands. Okay, otherwise I may later on do just for the information, I will do a class on that. Okay, but I call it free radicals are like terrorists. They call and kill every cells in everybody, children, women, not does. So these free radicals, they kill all the cells. Doesn't care whether they are good or bad. Okay, your immune system usually come and produce when you have free radical, the damage of, inflammation. They produce histamine, prostaglandins, kinins. They're in the inflammation. So that's what happened. Inflammation happened. Histamine, you know that. People who have allergy, you know histamine. That they created the swelling and everything. That's what happened. Okay, so radiation happened the same thing too. Now you have food, hormonal upset by stress. All these changes can create free radical and inflammation. Okay, so now continual inflammation prevent the cell from being repaired. If you don't repair cell, you sleep, and I hope everybody's sleeping good at night. You had to have a good. You sleep at night, these cells your immune system come and repair them so that you are okay for the next day. If you don't do that, the damages your DNA will happen. Okay, and that's what you're aging and even triggering of cancer cells. Okay, I spent enough time on that, so let me go to the next slide. Even Time magazine, okay, say inflammation is a sign of gone wrong in the. Okay, next slide will tell you. I think it is 2004 Time magazine, The Secret Killer. They say it's an inflammation. Now, we did way back in 1988, when Brian Jegasothy, the dermatologist, we discovered the consequence of continuous inflammation, and we the foundation to Hylunia Skin Care formulation based on our research way back. But this one came later on, and now it is everybody proven. A lot of drug companies are using anti-inflammatory in their drugs now. Okay, but the skincare still hang on to the old ingredients and old marketing and telling this is what it works. Remember that you are a professional. You have to give your people trust you to give the right information, right recommendations. So it's very important. You have to good to know this how the agent is involved in production. When somebody claim this is a so many $500 creams and everything, you had to think about it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So it's a chronic inflammation, okay? Remember that. Normal inflammation is good. That will bring the immune system and everything to repair and everything side. And it will but when you have something continuous, okay? You keep on having, okay, continuous inflammation, like a sun. 7 times you burn, you become permanent. Other one, you have like what you eat, how much stress you have. Okay, they are called chronic inflammation. Remember that even the dermatology, cosmetic dermatologists talk about to be connected to visible aging. All right. So it's a chronic inflammation. Okay, that's bad. Go to the next slide. Now, our discovery in 1988, when we were looking for somebody irritant-free product, but we came across and found out when we all the ingredient, 99% of the skincare product have ingredient that can cause inflammation. When you have or disrupt the hormonal system. Okay, remember that you have a hormonal system. I'll come and talk about it. Parabens. They mimic hormones, estrogen. Okay, now they are called endocrine disruptors or hormonal disruptor system, and that will upset your balance in your body. Your body have what called homeostasis. That's all the hormones are coming in the right time and everything. That when you have upset in that, okay, with the ingredients, the stress, everything else, then they can trigger the cancer cells and premature aging. That's our discovery in 1988. So let's go to about what Brian Jegasothy found out. So basically, when you look at it, continual is the key to diseases and root cause of premature aging and potential cancer. Okay, let's go to the next slide. That's what Brian, once again, I explained already about the DNA. What happening is the DNA is changed. So we should have all the DNA, okay? That is continued from the birth. You have been made into this DNA. Each person has their own DNA, the family histories and everything. They will produce the collagens and elastin, the skin, everything, okay? But when you change the DNA, that's what the triggering of cancer cells and other one happen, especially when your immune system cannot handle. Okay, now I am introducing inflammation, DNA change, mutation, and immune system. See that the immune system is why keep us alive. The immune system keep us alive, so it's very important. And some of you know Hylunia. The reason we got into the whole Hylunia, look at the whole person. And we look at as bring the Ayurveda, yoga, Ayurveda, meditations and everything that is we had to get the whole person. We had to look at the stress, everything. You had to look at the immune systems too. So nobody is talking about everybody said the product here is anti-aging, everything. But it's a both complete packages. It's good to know, even you are an esthetician, at least good to know the other part of the thing where you had to look at the whole person. Because the immune system is very important. Okay. Let's go next slide. So I mentioned about histamine. Now also, there is an inflammation called subclinical inflammation. This is inflammation you don't see with the eye. It's there. Now, your skin has your cells, if you know the basal cells where the cells are coming, your pigments are coming, melanocytes and everything come also there. You have cells called mast cell, okay? They have inside called histidine decarboxylate, okay? This chemical peptides is there. When you add ingredient, the sun, they convert it into histamine. And people who have allergy know what is happening. Even the pollen can create this to make the histamine. So when the histamine comes, you get inflammation. So this one will happen under the skin. You don't see it, but it builds up over the years. And eventually, they can trigger the cancer cells and aging process, So that's what you had to know this too. Subclinical inflammation, okay? Next slide. So Hylunia came with the theory. I don't think anybody else have a theory of aging. But basically, what we found out, our theory came is you have toxic and inflammatory ingredient, environmental like a sun. Okay? Okay? So what you eat and all these actually create inflammation. Okay? Then they change the DNA. At the same time, Your immune system should repair it, but if you have a weak immune system by stress, then what happening is, that's what the aging starts. Okay? That's what the basically, in a nutshell, that's what it is. Okay? So when we talk about aging, we are not only look at the skin aging, what causes the skin aging, we have see outside your immune system weakening by stress and everything else. So it's important what you put on the skin, what you eat, okay, and how you think, okay, and that's what is important in skin aging. Okay, next slide. No, okay. So I have finished my part 1. All right. So that's what aging is basically due to continuous inflammation or the chronic inflammation, and that's what changes your DNA. Okay, continuous inflammation doesn't let your cell to repair it, so immune system is involved, and that's what it actually start to change your DNA and create cells which produce wrong peptides and proteins and collagens and elastins, That's what it starts in the... And melanocytes, you have cells where they have the pigments, they create a wrong melanocytes. That's what you get the, age spot, and eventually they may become melanoma, okay? And so I hope you understand that. So let's now, get your mind to rest now. Think about the next one. So the next one is, nobody is telling, none of the companies are telling. But basically, when you say about ingredient, it can be good, bad, and ugly. They only tell you only the good ingredient. Nobody tells you what the bad and ugly ingredient. When we talk about parabens are bad, way back in 25 years ago. When we talk about the sperm count in the Western world is going down because of the all what we eat and what we put and everything, all these. Nobody listen to us. Now, after 30 years, even UNESCO, United Nations, they came and say, yeah, the sperm count is going down, especially started with the use of care and other product with preservatives and everything. And now they are saying it's happening everywhere too. So once again, nobody is telling you had to put the serum to get the facts out. Remember that you are a professional. You had to know what you are putting on the skin. And especially you want to recommend somebody, you had to know what they are putting on the skin. Okay? If you think you cannot put something on your pet, dog or cat, you shouldn't use it to anything. Okay? But unfortunately, none of them are telling you bad and ugly ingredients. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. What you had to do is, you had to avoid or neutralize free radicals that creates inflammation. So you had to avoid the bad and ugly ingredient that create free radicals, which in turn created the inflammations, and then create changes the DNA and actually create cancers and aging. And at the same time, there are good ingredients, you can use them to neutralize the antioxidant, vitamin, anti-inflammatory. So the effect of inflammation by all outside or what you do your life and everything can be reduced. So these are the two things you had to look at the ingredients. So next slide. Remember that. A lot of facts. There are more than 500 products sold in the containing ingredient banned in Europe. Even the International Fragrance Association, nearly 100 products containing ingredient unsafe. Even the Fragrance Association. There are 5,000 fragrance which are not chemical in the fragrance, and a lot of them are irritant, allergens, but even they had. And also, they found out 22% of the personal product contaminated with what called dioxane. Dioxane, many of them, even children product. Remember that. From the day you were born, you are accumulating all these things in your body. So it's very important, even your children, you had to recommend, see what is in the ingredient. Teach your clients how to look the ingredients. Ask them to give it to you and you can read it and see what is in there. Okay? Usually all these chemicals accumulate under your skin, the fat tissues, and it comes to the point, it will show that you have enough significant amount and it will trigger your immune system or endocrine system, immune system, endocrine system, everything. So it's very, very important to have, okay, you have any ingredients, okay, that could create inflammations and eventually cancer. Now, California is the only state in the US to ban many ingredients. And they have Proposition 65. They banned a lot of skincare ingredient, even other ones too. So it's a good yardstick to see, okay, in the US, whether the companies work, the cell, they are actually meeting the Proposition 65. And Hylunia Hymed, we meet the Proposition 65. There's nothing else telling you. There's no really to show what is good and bad. And you can't blame the FDA. They had to have all the information. Sometime all the information and prove it, and you will find out from what happened with the parabens, that's what happened for many years, okay? And so you had to have Proposition 65, you have to see that. Go to the next slide. So what should you know about the ingredients? There are good, bad, and ugly. Ugly means this is really bad, okay? Okay, preservatives, potential carcinogenic and inflammatory ingredient, hormonal disruptors. When you say hormonal disruptor, upset your hormones. Remember that. A woman affected by hormonal is more than the man. So hormones are like I talk about homeostasis. So basically hormones are like a orchestra, okay? You have different notes coming from different instruments. They had to come at the right time and the right ones. If you don't come in the right time, what happened? You don't have the music. Same with your own body. These different hormones and everything should come on the right time. If they don't come, they upset your balance, and then you upset your homeostasis, then the whole body has to try to come it back. Good example, for a woman, you have estrogen, you have progesterone, you have progesterone, estrogen, two main thing, okay, so if you have estrogen come when you are during your cycle, 10 to 15 days, the estrogen will come and line all your lining of the uterus for the egg to come and embed it there. Okay. If you don't get fertilized, then the progesterone come after, say, 20 days, 25 days. Okay. Then they will check the Lingam. And some people, it doesn't happen in the right time, the right thing. So you actually don't shed it and you get the, endometriosis, that. So that's what in your body, the whole hormones balance is so important and upsetting that, especially with the skincare ingredients. And you will find out with the preservative like the, parabens and other ones, they are very dangerous to you. Okay. Bad. Then there are bad ones which are not bad like the preservatives, but then you have fragrance and polyethylene glycol and DA, lanolin, all these things, Then the good ones are the antioxidant inflammatory ingredients, vitamins, titanium oxide, so zinc oxide, free radical from sun. So they are the good ones. Now when I talk about ingredient, I said these are the good, bad, and the ugly. Now also you had to look at it, whether these ingredients, whatever they are claiming, what concentration they are in. Good way to know that is look at the list of the highest percentage, according to FDA, the highest percentage is on the top. Then the second highest. When you have up to 1%, they had to come in the order. After that, it can be any order. So see, okay, where this ingredient comes into. That way you know where they are, how much they have. Okay. So a good example is, okay, you need the ingredient, okay, where they come, and then they had to have a minimum concentration or strength. Okay. Good example is, you look at aspirin. If you have a headache, you take aspirin. If you take one aspirin, it wouldn't work. You had to take 2 aspirin to make it work. So not only what is the concentration of the ingredient, how much they have, it has to be a minimum concentration to work. Okay, always know that. Then, even if you have an ingredient and you figure out where it comes, now it is see, usually what is the, especially plant actives, what is the active ingredient in the plant? For example, if you take green tea, you had to have an active called polyphenol. Okay, so you had to see whether they have the active. Otherwise, normal concentration. When you see some ingredient, say green tea or something, they are the standard normal extract. That means it has only something like a 5%, 5% polyphenol. Okay, the active ingredient there. Okay, same thing. It happened with everything. So you had to see what is the active ingredient. So not only just ingredient, but the concentrations and how much is the active in that ingredient is important. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, let me talk about the good ones. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory ingredients. Okay, you see vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin, all these different, turmeric. I will go through some of these ingredients. Okay, but since I cannot finish the whole thing in 75 minutes, I have put them into the attachment, or go to Hylunia website about ingredient and you can read more about it. Okay, so I'm going to just put some of the good ingredient like the the pomegranate and mangosteen and kangaroo paw flowers, which has fruit acid, or peroxide. This mistake about cantaloupe, it come from cantaloupe. That is actually, it can be antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Very good. The best one is turmeric. Turmeric actually anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, bioprotectant. So turmeric is actually researched in many cancer centers for cancer treatments and everything. Very powerful. Used for years. From India they have been using it. And they are very safe, very powerful antioxidant. Okay, and then we will go to the next slide. When you see, what do you see? When you see that, do you think anything can go in or anything can come out of this tree? No. That's what you had to look at the ingredient, not only concentration, you have to see how the formulation is done. If you have the ingredient, remember that I told about the ingredient, the first 2 ingredients, okay, could be water or juice or something. Then after the third, 4th ingredient, if you see anything which is more occlusive, I mean, it could be a oil, silicone, something like that. They form a lipid barrier on top of the skin. So nothing goes in and nothing comes in. When I started way back 35, looking at that, most of the product, okay, had, okay, this occlusive ingredient, the caprylic triglyceride, very nice, smooth. You see that. Silicones. But what happening is, it is good moisturizer because it doesn't got anything go in and come there. But it cannot let any of the anti-aging. When you talk about anti-aging, you had to have the actives, vitamins, antioxidant to penetrate into your skin to make it happen. So let me go to the next slide. So if you see this occlusive ingredient, okay, on the top, they just sit on the top. They don't let anything. I have seen a product way back. This is like I even bought the product. Those days, 35 years ago, you didn't have internet, nothing. You had to buy the product, buy the ingredients, See? I bought something from the drugstores. Capillary dractors, right? As a moisturizer, $10 or something, or $5. Those days, very cheap. Then I bought another esthetician product for $100. Only different is packaging and the smell. Other than that, they are the same. Same thing which happened. I look at some of the other ingredient called anti-aging. They will have one ingredient, like a gotu cola, Then they go, gotu cola is anti-inflammatory, they say gotu cola. The ingredient is about the 15th ingredient, and they call it anti-aging. See that? Remember that. I want you to keep on thinking in your back of your mind. You are a professional. You are there to give the right information to the right people and recommend to people. So you have to know these things, and so you had to know the ingredient, how they are, how it on the list. Now, another one you had to do is when you have this ingredient, they form the lipid barrier. Okay, so nothing can go in. And that's the way we call moisturizers, and that's the way we have been, we have been doing this for so many years. This is one of the reasons I couldn't believe. Remember that I didn't know nothing about skincare, nothing. I was a rocket scientist. But when the need came to look at the ingredient for a irritant-free product, my friend Brian Jegasothy, the famous dermatologist, when she started explaining to me, I started looking at this product and I couldn't believe. How can you sell the same product, okay, for $100? Even those days, I don't know, some may be old enough to know, they have collagen product, okay. They were selling collagen product 100, 122, yeah, but at the same time, they have hyaluronic acid, which is, 1,000 times called water, collagen can only go 40 times. People were selling it. Okay, this is one of the reason I couldn't believe, that this is happening, and one of the reason I got involved, and finally I had to do a good karma, which I have been told from childhood, do something good, and that's what all the friends who helped us to formulate the product, who are friends, they never charge any money, but I said, hey, can you put some money and start a company where we only think to tell the truth to the public? At least they have to give the freedom to people to buy, but we had to give the truth, and that's what the Hylunia was started, and then I met later on. Okay, next slide. The other one way I can say the good, I can go a little bit more about that thing. Once again, I am running late, so I am going to sort of go fast on this. If you need me, I can send the information to you. You can read about it. So go to the next slide. Remember that I talk about you have to have an active ingredient to make it happen. If you are anti-aging, you have to be anti-aging. If you are exfoliant, you have to have alpha hydroxy acids, So, the antioxidant vitamin, now you have to see what is the active. So green tea, it is called polyphenol. Hylunia use 50% concentrated polyphenol. Like a remember that I said, normally they have 5% to 5 to 20% maximum. So basically, when you use the Hylunia, we use a concentrated form of this polyphenol, which is 500% more than the normal extract. It's very potent. Okay? It can really suppress your inflammation. It can take your rosacea, people with rosacea, redness, it suppresses them. It is a good antioxidant to neutralize all the. Same thing with pomegranate. The active in the pomegranate is called ellagic acid. Hylunia actually concentrated by the 40% concentrated ellagic acid, which is 1,300% more than the normal extract. Then look at the amla. Amla is one of the Indian gooseberries. Their main thing is tannin. There are many products, company product, they say about tannin, the amla, tannin, stretch mark, fine lines and wrinkles. Okay. Now, which is actually, okay, 5,500% more than the normal extract. Now also, amla has another vitamin C in there too, 20%. There's a vitamin C in amla too. Then of course the turmeric. This is the real, you call the best of king of ingredient, queen of queen ingredients, turmeric, it's called curcumin. Now, what Hylunia do is, when we did the research way back, we put turmeric and then they made the face all yellow. You sleep, the pillow is yellow. So we had to get another company in actually New Jersey. They were able to concentrate by slightly hydrogenating. And now it comes almost 2,000 times powerful than the normal turmeric. Okay. So what we have done is we wanted to put the active ingredient all together. So you will get the results. The bottom line is results. Remember that our main purpose is to help humanity and tell the truth and everything. So we didn't hear how much it costs. We put the money on the ingredient and research and development, not on the marketing and everything. All the company put so much money into marketing and made you to believe everything. And remember that you are a professional esthetician, you can't go for that. Now in this age with AI, you are going to see so many fake even fake testimonials and everything. That's what you had to depend on, more medical, scientific information. I am giving all these with the, all the reference and everything, and you had to help to your client go beyond, you can post them and get into more people find about these ingredients, So turmeric is another ingredient. Okay, next page. Okay, so how antioxidant work? Remember that in the old days, you see the Pac-Man, it goes and kill up everything. So the antioxidants are, remember that I was explaining, they go and neutralize by actually supplying the electron to them. Remember that the electron? So basically antioxidant go after the free radical and capture it, eat it. Okay, so they sacrifice. So antioxidant sacrifice and neutralize, so they won't damage much. That's what the antioxidant works. Okay. Next slide. I told about turmeric. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Very powerful antioxidant, bioprotect and everything, Even so many places are using in medicine and cancer centers. Okay, next slide. So I have a little bit more about it, okay? There you see it describes more about turmeric, okay? And Hylunia concentrated there. So now we call it tetrahydrodifluoromethane. We cannot tell turmeric because we have slightly changed to take out the yellow color and concentrate it. Now remember, when you say organic, there's okay, then you cannot say it's organic. Remember that organic, there are no FDA approved organic product. Only the Department of Agriculture, USDA, is the one say you call it organic. Okay, not skincare, you call it organic when it says 95% of the extracts are there. But the 5% may have a lot of preservatives. They call natural. You will come and see later on. Natural preservative, grapeseed fruit extract, but that is same as paraben. They say soy extract, it is that may same as formaldehyde. So the companies market, they said nobody is telling the truth. They are hiding. And it's so the average public don't know it. Even your client don't know it. But you had to tell your client, teach them, become an educator. Okay? I don't want to use the word influencer because they are there for money, but you become an educator, It's more like an educator and come like that, That's what the turmeric is, you can do that. Okay, next slide. Green tea, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum together. Okay, I don't want to go, you can read about it. We will send the slides for you and go to the next slide. So when you combine the green tea and chrysanthemum together, they work better. It's called synergic formulation. This is how the Indian Ayurveda, the Chinese medicine, they call synergic formulation. When you put two together, work better. Same thing with ingredient. Rather than by ingredient you combine in a certain ratio, it works better than that. So basically, 1 + 1 is not 2, 3. Okay. So here you have two free radical called oxyferrin and hydroxy, and see what this combination of chrysanthemum green tea is doing it 97%, 100%. And that's what in Hylunia formulation, if you look at the ingredient, we always have green tea and chrysanthemum there. Okay. So that's what it is. So the next slide. I talked about the supraocular dismustase. Okay. Very powerful enzymes and antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Okay. Once again, okay, this is very, only thing is they are very irritant. So we had to control. Remember the Hylunia, we cannot create any inflammation. So we have to work it all the way at a lower percentage to make sure it's a benefit, but at the same time doesn't create any inflammation. Now, next slide. Okay. I remember that I told people now they are market body, everybody is looking for vitamin C product. Once again, vitamin C product not all are same. All the studies and everything is called L-ascorbic acid. That is called bioavailable. What is bioavailable? That's the way the body takes you. Whatever you take and everything, that's the way the body takes it. So even if you have other forms of called esters, if it's an L-ascorbic acid, actually it will have to convert it back to L-ascorbic acid. Okay. Okay. So it's very important that what type of vitamin C. And there are also other fruits there. Okay. For example, you have kakadu plums, in Hylunia. They are 100 times more than content in vitamin C than orange. Say amla, 20% or 20 times. I had to check that out. Maybe 20 times. Okay. So the next slide. So this is about kakadu plums. See that what it can do? It increases the pro-collagen production. So all the vitamin C product, the vitamin C L-ascorbic acid, the other one cannot do it. But this one can actually stimulate the production of pro-collagen, collagen, 144 times. They reduce the wrinkle volume by 41%, the wrinkle length by 39%, in redness by 22%, the shining by 30%. And look at this, increases the hyaluronic acid by 459%. Hyaluronic acid, when you hold water, when it's hydrated, actually it gives you plump up the skin. Okay, but that plumbing up the skin from hyaluronic acid too big to go into your skin. It's the water goes and plump up the skin, it actually increases the elasticity. So it increases the hyaluronic acid production, increase inside. Okay. There is a study done about 40 years ago. One of the doctor put some, the top of the skin, okay, took, top of the skin, he took it out and put it in water and oil. The oil, okay, even after 1 month, 3 months, 6 months was same. When you put the dry skin on water, it immediately pops up. So you need water inside, and if you can produce those water inside, hyaluronic acid, that will really give you elasticity. It gives you the elasticity inside. Now, another ingredient Hylunia has, I don't know if any of you know it, is called Padina pavonica, come from water. Okay, it's algae. And that one also produces the same, increases the hyaluronic acid production. So you produce hyaluronic acid inside as well as put it from the outside. Okay, next one. Okay. Amla, this is an Indian gooseberry. I talked to you about it, Okay. So very antioxidant, powerful. Okay. And once again, Hylunia, the tannins. We put the active tannins concentrated, and that's about 40%. Okay, tannins, and it actually 550 more than the potent than the normal amino acids. See the difference, how what you are seeing, what you are reading and everything, and what you are finding out. Ingredient matters. Active in the ingredient matters to make it happen. The penetration matters. If you cannot penetrate, it cannot do anything. Okay. So the next slide. Other one is coconut flowers. This is also, people wanted just, what we found out, a lot of people wanted instant tightness. They have under instant facelift, you call it Botox or something, index, like, I don't want to say exactly like Botox, but some people use a word, Basically, it gives you the instant tightness. I have here, I tried it here. I am 79 years old and you can see my forehead here. That's what I do. I use the advanced respiratory cream, Okay, that's what I use in there. Also, this kangaroo paw has another one called as an antioxidant called ferulic acid. Ferulic acid, antioxidant, and promote the elasticity to firm the skin, radiance, and even complexion. This ferulic acid is in the kangaroo paw, and also at the same time, it gives you the tightness. Next slide. So there are other ones. So remember that I talked to you about the ingredient synergic formula. Not only you add the other formula, also another one called synergic formula, which you add some other ingredient. Okay, look like this. If you think there's a war, the army send the infantry. If the infantry go, they may be slaughtered and everything, all the free radicals. But if you have certain number of armies, the Air Force all go together and attack, then it attacks better than by sending the infantry. So when you have a C, you can put some enzyme called hydroxyproline. Actually activate and accelerate the collagen synthesis. Okay. Usually the UVA and B rays destroy these enzymes in your skin. So you get faster aging. But this is actually do that. Same thing with palmitol tripeptides. Help the collagen synthesis by activating the dormant. Dormant means dead growth factors. See what's happening? So when you combine different types of vitamin C, like the L-ascorbic acid, then you have the, ecstasy, kakadu plums, you have the kangaroo paw, amla, okay? Then you put these enzymes and everything. They work together so far in a synergic way to basically, okay, attack and give you the excellent result, ultra results. See, that's what happened. There are other enzymes, other peptides, like you have a copper peptides, they actually elastase, okay, zinc peptides, manganese peptides. So you are all these peptides are in there to attack. If you see some of the, I think Hylunia beyond complex C, they have all these in there too. Because we wanted to get the vitamin C performance the best, like a winning the war, really go and winning the war, against the enemy who is inflammation, preservatives and everything in there. All we had to, unfortunately, Hylunia don't use any preservatives. So we don't have that, So it's a free ride. No, nobody can, stop us. This can go and get the collagen synthesis and elastin synthesis happening. Next slide. Retinol, very well known anti-aging. It can, activate the collagen and build up the thing. It can neutralize all the free radical damaged by sun and everything. But only unfortunately, it is an irritant too. Now remember that retin A is prescription. This is retinol, alcohol. Okay, but it has to be oxidized so fast. You have to be careful when you do the formulation too. Okay, remember that lot of products you buy, They are not made by the company. They are made by the somebody else, private label. And, so they don't have this like, but we have our technology, everything to make sure when we get the retinol, we divide them into the right amount in different bottles and keep it. So when we make production, we just put the bottle. We don't take the whole bottle and keep it because that will oxidize it, oxidize. So retinol is another one which you can, it's one of the anti-aging and everybody, and you have anti-aging product with just retinol. But you will see all these things together. Now also, remember that I told you about Hylunia is in proportion 65. They don't let more than 2% retinol. Okay. So what we do is, because it can irritation and everything, so what we do is, we put the 2%, but on top of that, we would put another one called retinal linoleate. Okay. This is same, the study shows they give the same results like retinol, but it is not it doesn't irritate like it's a oil soluble to irritate like a retinol. So we have increased the performance of retinol, able to push more into the formulation by using this, retinol linoleate. Okay. And our retinol come from beta carotene. Beta carotene is a water soluble of the carrots. So it's made from carrot. All Hylunia product, most of our almost 99% or 95% are plant-based. Okay. What we look is whether it creates inflammation. For example, L-ascorbic acid doesn't get inflammation, it suppresses it. So we put it, even if synthetic. Okay. So that's the way we look at the formulation. Next slide. Vitamin E, very powerful, okay? It is for UV damage and everything is very important, UVA rays and so, and also you need vitamin C in formula, vitamin E to happen together. It's like sisters helping each other. Vitamin C oxidize, the vitamin E come and regenerate. So you have a constant supply of vitamin C if you have vitamin E. So always look for in the product, in vitamin C product, where they have vitamin E in there. Okay, so next slide. Okay, this is part 3 now. Okay, so basically the main part I have done it, but we have actually gone beyond what is the customer wish, and I already take some of that. Also, people worry about hyperpigmentation, age spots, blemish skins, and all the different, so basically, so you had to give instant facelift. So basically, this is what it is. So basically, let me go. I am running late. Okay, give me a little bit, another 10 minutes. I will be done. Okay, so now let's go to the next slide. We use from many years now. One called Centipina cunninghamii. Okay. This Cunningham is, the botany, somebody who invented to see it, they give their names, So this is called old man weed in Australia. The Aboriginals use it for anti-inflammatory. The University of Wellington tested it and they found out they are actually 3,000 times more than aspirin anti-inflammatory property. But we put a higher percentage of that ingredient and make it 4,000 times more. So when you put this ingredient, it can suppress the inflammation by 4,000, equivalent to 4,000 times like an aspirin. Excellent. We put in many products, including sunscreens, Other one called Ultramus macleodi. This is actually found from basically they are in the Fiji, they are in the volcanic ocean. When the eruption comes, this plant, okay, come up to the surface and they take it out and put to the pond next one and grow it. Then they ferment it, okay? Ferment, and this is actually excellent against radiation, sun radiation, inflammation, okay? So this product is, okay, and also it has, what's another one, rosacea, psoriasis, all these ones. We put this ingredient in our day formula, then other, the facial day lotions, others too. Now we ferment it and get the property. Now, there are other companies just have a fermented extract. What they do is they ferment, but they don't, that one ingredient cannot really have all the ingredients. Here we are mainly using to suppress the inflammation. Okay. So the next slide. Calendula. You have known calendula, marigold, used in Europe for thousands, not thousands, hundreds of years. That's what the apothecary medicine in Europe, calendula, suppress inflammations and everything. So we use that too, calendula. Next slide. Beta-glucan. This has come from oats. You know that oatmeal, you put it when you have bites and everything. The actual active in there called beta-glucan. Okay, but let me see what happened here. I lost this. Are we back on? Okay, sorry, I don't know. Okay. So this actually immune system. This is the one actually immune system. If you are a statistician, you studied in your school, it's called Langerhans cells. They are the watchdog. They watch the, what is coming in and everything and send out the right, macrophages and everything, the immune system to activate the immune, go and fight back. The beta-glucan actually get the Langerhans cells get activated. Also, immune system, like a infection, the macrophages, they go and everything. So it's excellent for anti-inflammatory ingredient. Okay, next slide. Already told about it, so I'm going to go just to summarize those two ingredients I told you about, we talked about. Okay, instant facelift. This one also we use neuropeptides called DMAE. Okay, that's also we use, actually in our advanced restorative cream in that ingredient too, to see how it does, see how much it's doing that. Eye bags, crow's feet, all these things, instant. Next slide, please. Okay, these are the bad ones. I thought so there's a bad one also, ingredient that created. Okay, let me see what I have it there. Next slide. Okay, see, the preservatives are the bad. Preservatives are the parabens. And then you had to look at the grapefruit seed extract, okay, which is same as parabens, okay. Formaldehyde, you say about soy extract, sodium hydroxymethyl glycinate, that's the one from soy. So even natural and everything, these are the bad ones. And there are more bad ones. Go to the next slide. Was it next slide? Have it. Let me see. Okay. Next slide. Okay. So nobody. Okay. So no. Go to the next. Nobody is telling the truth. Nobody is talking about preservatives are really bad. Okay. Basically, many preservatives mimic hormones. Remember that in the beginning, you have your hormone is like an orchestra. Everything has to be done, come on the right time. When you do preservatives in your skincare and everything, they affect, disrupt the progesterone, testosterone, thyroid, all linked to cancer. Okay, parabens, grapefruit. There were other one, even trichlorosan. You see trichlorosans in different wash, antibacterial wash, and you don't believe some of these companies put even into the toys, children toys, and telling people you won't have any bacteria. It's good to have some bacteria, kids playing and develop the immunity. See how this marketing they have done it. Then there's another story I'll tell you. In the old days, there's a pesticide called DDT. This is the one they sprayed to kill the bacteria, the insect, like a mosquito. You heard about malaria in all the third birds and everything you happened, and they pulled it to kid. They used to spray kids with that. See, in the name of science, people went to the extreme. Your company tried to market what the use for each product, and this is one of them, trichlorosan. Okay. And but even we were telling about parabens are bad and everything, nobody listened to us. And until in 2004, there is a journal, this doctor, what is it, applied scientist, he talked about the 18 out of 20 people have breast tumor. They found out, breast tumor has, parabens. And then let's go to the next slide. Ugly, really bad is the paraben. And a lot of companies didn't, even when we were telling way back 35 years ago, a lot of companies didn't do it. Only they did it after everybody started talking about, hey, we should have paraben, and then only they changed over. Because the parabens is cheap, it's very effective and cheap, but it can endocrine disrupt, it can upset your hormones. It come to the point your body see you have too much hormones, and that's what is important. If some of you know, they did a study with the woman hormones, estrogen. Okay. Now, from it's natural, they got it from the mire of the horse, the horse urine, got it, and they tested it. They forget to think that they had to have a ratio of estrogen to progesterone, that all that balance is not there. And all the people they tested, they had to stop it and they got cancer. So you had to look at it, what happened to this. This is what happening. And this is what Hylunia have been telling all the way along 35 years ago. Okay? These are bad, especially children. And you are the one who are the professional, we are getting the knowledge to educate and post it and tell people, get together like-minded people and everything spread there. Nobody's going to tell this. So you are the one for a good karma. You do it for the goodness. Okay? The money will come, your business will come, at least people know the facts, the truth. Next slides. Okay, paraben 1300 cosmetics. I'm going to go fast here. I'm coming little. I wanted to finish it up quick. Okay, next one. Next slide. Okay, these are all there. You could see all these I have there. If you need more, we have more complete list of all these are with us, our websites, and this one we have. Okay, next slide. Once again, okay, they say they are absorbed into the thing. They actually interfere with their cancer treatments. All this is happening, okay, with paraben. And they were the one with so many, till about 10 years ago, all the 90% of the product have paraben. Okay, and that was a problem. Okay, so let's again keep going. Other ones I talking about diisonic urea, imodial urea, DMDM hydrone, they are all formaldehyde based. Okay. So once again, these people just for that, and these people who thought organic is the best and try to promote them, remember 95% extract without pesticide, everything is DS Department of Agriculture, USDA say it's organic. But the 5%, all these can be in your 5%. Okay? So that is no good, because that will accumulate under your skin, in your fat tissue, and really, so what good it is you have these and later on in your life you get cancer. Okay? So next slide. Once again, okay, what is that? The one up the truth. Okay, here it is. So what company do? The company, they don't share all the information about that, because they had to make a money, they had to get the shareholders happy, everybody, they had to show the results and everything, and they don't share all the information. Because there's nothing wrong. It's a capitalist system and I'm okay with that. But they don't share all the information from ingredient and everything. Just like the way, if people remember what the tobacco companies did before, they knew it's causing cancer and everything. They still hid all the studies. Such a way the skincare companies and skincare ingredients are happening. All right. So that's what the truth serum. Get to the next one. So what you had to do is, okay, you had to research on your own each ingredient, come to Hylunia, everything, like you said, I came from the retirement just for this purpose, to give the information and the truth to the people and recommend any product you client. Okay? Remember, you are an assistant, you are a professor, you should know your ingredient in your product and not just primary ingredient. That's what most of the companies do that. Really research into that. Okay, next slide. Also, share your knowledge with your client, friends, family, and like-minded people. Because now you are going to have fake AI. You don't believe how some of these things I watch look like a real people, believe only in one, you had to believe in credible medical scientific established source for information. Okay, next slide. Okay, it's 1 hour. So can these ingredients make their way into the body? Yes. Disease, Center for Disease, and they said, and skin is the largest organ of your body. You studied at the school, and that they can come into not only sun, absorbed and everything from the environment. So it can go into the body, okay, into your body. Next slide. Okay, 13,000 product. This is an older thing. Maybe a lot of company have, to change this. I didn't have the latest thing at that. I could update it later. But at least there are a lot of product with paraben. Maybe they have the number is less now. Okay. Now also another one I had to do is they also found out the male infertility. The male sperm count is going down. Remember that I told you in the beginning, they found out the male sperm count is going down. Okay. So what the scientific doctors think that maybe what's happening is if the mother is having too much parabens in the body, okay, maybe the baby pass on to the baby, the male, if it's a male child, pass on to the male child, that's called mitochondria. In your cell, your mitochondria, and that's where it stores it and go to the child, boy, and then eventually it happens. Okay, next slide. Okay, chronic inflammation, so many other things. And one other thing I had to point out to you is a lot of autoimmune system disease like psoriasis, lupus are big of chronic inflammation. Body immune system has to find whenever you see something foreign. But if it's too much, it cannot fight and it let it go. And that's what the autoimmune system diseases come into. See how much damage is diabetes and irritable bowel syndromes and everything. Okay, next. Once again, even when we started the company before that, there was a study done in 280,000 people, Dr. Malibash, University of San Diego, and they found out 27% irritation, contact dermatitis, preservative, 30% fragrance. See, 57%, half the people, have already have this happening with that. Still, the best thing, because every company have fragrances. Why? People like the smell. Even when we started with no smell, but we don't put anything, and people will say immediately smell. They said, I am sensitive skin, but immediately they still smell. Okay, your fragrance is the way they market these people. Okay, remember that I told there are 5,000 chemicals in fragrances. Okay, same thing with preservatives. Then the other one is propylene is good, but it can create irritation. Lanolin is come in the sheepskin, the fat. But what happening is there are so many transformers and everything leak the chemicals into the grazing field and everything. So they came into the food cycle and collected under the skin, the lanolin, the fat cells. And that's what even that has a lot of course, dye. Why you need a dye? You had to give a nice pleasant color. We don't do a dye. We don't do anything saying, and people don't like the smells and everything, But that's what we had to do it, Go ahead, next slide. Okay. But, we couldn't find anything. When you look at so many companies and so many things, everybody, nobody have a, ingredient have, think about what we are talking about, the parabens and everything, and so that's just to let you know. Next slide. What you can do about it? I know Hylunia everything preservative free and everything, you know that. Keep it handy, give it to show your clients and everything. This is what tell about what the preservatives are bad. Okay. So now it is more important because of the AI and fake endorsement pictures and and don't fall for the claim organic skincare product. That is basically another marketing. The biggest marketing thing they did is for 200 years, we know organic means it is carbon based. The science, organic, inorganic. These people made that definition of organic in their own and made, if you have pesticide, it is organic. It's not organic. Pesticide-free agriculture is organic. See how the marketing can change the whole generation, whole country, the whole globe into that. And that's what they do. And that's what you are doing. And that's what I want to ask you. You are a professional. Don't go for this, what you look at the company's claim and marketing and everything, All right. And be a teacher and say your knowledge and recommend to other people with confidence. Okay. Next one, I should be done soon. Here is a thing. Please give it to the people. Okay, it's what we don't have. Next slide. Okay. I wanted to talk. So I know. Give me 5 minutes more. Okay. Prevention of photo aging and triggering of precancerous cells by sun. Sun, you know the sun. So you had to have a next slide. I want to just introduce this one. Okay, once again, 80% of the wrinkles are age spots in, actually, fair people are due to sun. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, now we had to prevent. Okay, next slide. We had to prevent it. Avoid sun exposure and wear sunscreen. Recommended 20 to 30 sunscreen. Normal thing. If you go out in the sun, okay, you can use more than 30 or something, but add frequently when you sweat and when you sports or something, after the sports, you may, wear the sunscreen more. Very important. Okay. And that's what, if you are using a daytime lotion, just go for shopping and work. The facial day lotion, look for facial day lotion where you have some sunscreen ingredients. Okay. You should have even for the thing. Remember that even winter days, cloudy days, you have sun coming out. So next slide. So this is somebody with the sun damage. Okay. So next slide. So cancer is caused by repeated sun. Okay. Visible light, infrared, ultraviolet radiation. Okay. So what happening is the ultraviolet radiation causes photoaging, wrinkles, leathery skin, loss of elasticity. I did a talk lecture on the cancer day. Like was it August or something? I did something. And you can even ask us to send us that presentation about that. Okay. So next slide. So remember that sun damage is cumulative, add-on. And if you remember in the beginning, 7 times you burn someplace, it becomes permanent. And you changes the DNA and the change coming in the DNA. Okay. Now, so that's what you had to, chronic inflammation. You had to stop the sun, wear sunscreen, and be aware of it. Okay, sunscreen, especially when you do outdoor sports, gardening, running, walking, and everything. When you have more than 1 hour or something, definitely you had to put a high number, at least 30, over 30 an hour. Okay, next one. Once again, free radical sun UV, and what you can defend is sunblock, titanium zinc oxide, chemical sunscreen, specific. When you have a lower SPF number for a sunscreen, which is like a 20 closer, chemical is okay. But when you go high, the chemical is bad. So it's better to go to a high 30 and 30 plus. You could better to go for a titanium zinc oxide sunscreens. Okay. Now next slide. Okay, minimize triggering. Okay, so I'm summarizing everything to read it. Okay, summarize. Okay, inflammation not only sun, skin care, preservatives, toxins, endocrine disruptors, pesticides, loaded food. That's what is good to organic, hormone and added meat and milk, and good to eat the what do you call egg free range chicken, organic milk. That's what is good to do that. Okay. And so basically you have to look at the whole process. Okay, next slide. Okay, I have already given you Hylunia. I'm going to talk with, and I will do some about Hylunia product more detail, what are the anti. Go ahead, next slide. And I will separately on a different date. Okay. Okay. Now, SPF number, good to know the SPF number. What is SPF number is, you take 2 patches here, put sunscreen on one patch, leave the other one, stay in the sun and check out every, 5-10 minutes. So see when it turned red. The one without the turn red is your base. Okay. So if you stay with your, for example, with the sunscreen, 150 minutes before you burn, and you burn without the sunscreen 10 minutes. So 150 divided by 10, your SPF number is 15. See? So how you can do is, look at the SPF number, okay, and fear it yourself, ask your client, how long before you get burned? So that's here, then you can figure out the 15, 20 sunscreen, be okay with it. It's better to add frequent than just put 1 liter for the whole day. I accept the, going to work or shopping or something, anything else. Next slide. Okay, once again, these informations, okay, truth about sunscreen. Now, they are UVB and A, very important. You had to at least some protection. But in reality, I told you about there are billions of protons coming from the sun. They actually do the inflammation and free radical damage. So not only that, it's good to have, especially the facial day lotion where you see the face, you had to have a facial day lotion or anti-inflammatory ingredient, antioxidants. Okay, all you had to have to turmeric, beta glucans, and all these, green tea and everything, very important in the facial day lotion. Okay, next slide. Now, people who have sunscreen, you may not need it. So it's good to, if you are a practice, buy one. If you can afford, you can buy one of those scope, with the sunscreen UV light. You look at it, and the client can see how much of damage deep into the next layer and next layer and next layer. So that's a good one to tell them they had to do some vitamin C peel or some peel for them. Or if you are a Medispas and others, you can say you can get a laser done. When you said laser done and everything, they eventually will take out the damage, and minimize the chance of becoming precancerous. Okay. Next slide. I think that's it. Yeah. Thing with the laser done, it comes very clear with the laser. Okay. I prefer laser. You can't do no vitamin C peel like that. Chemical peel, you can't control it, but it's better to go to the laser safe peel like a vitamin C peels, than chemical peel. Go ahead, next one. I think that's it, isn't it? All right, I think that's it. Yeah. Other ones are all attachments. If you need, we can send the attachments and everything. So thank you. I took more time than it, it took. But once again, thank you for listening to me, and hopefully you will become, influencer. I mean, I say influencer, educator in your society, India where you are, and get everybody else and others to know real facts, truth about skincare, preservatives, and all. You can do that. Once again, thank you for listening to me.